A very warm welcome to PCE Instruments, your manufacturer of test and measuring instruments for industry, trade and research.
Hello, I'm Jan Joel from the YouTube channel JJChemistry, and today I'm working with the PCE T1220 temperature data logger. The appeal of this device lies in the fact that I can use it as a normal thermometer and also as an intelligent temperature measuring device for a total of 12 simultaneously running measurements. 12 Type K thermocouple elements are included, acting as temperature sensors. The times when you have to use a glass thermometer filled with liquid or even a thermometer filled with mercury and can only measure a temperature range of approximately minus 20 to 100 degrees Celsius are certainly a thing of the past. Type K thermocouples are suitable for a measuring range from minus 200 degrees Celsius up to plus 1,370 degrees Celsius. I tested this directly and measured the temperature of liquid nitrogen after unpacking the device. Liquid nitrogen reaches a temperature of minus 196 degrees Celsius. As an extreme high temperature, I measured a cake fountain's temperature. Since pyrotechnic reactions are very exothermic, I freed the sensor from this situation at well over 1,000 degrees Celsius to be pleased that it actually withstood it. Type K thermocouple elements are also very accurate measuring devices. The measurement deviation is just plus or minus 0.04% plus 0.3 Kelvin. At 1,000 degrees Celsius, that would be a deviation of 0.7 degrees Celsius upwards and downwards. Since 12 thermocouples are included and the layout of this large display is very clear, I can also perform 12 temperature measurements simultaneously. Furthermore, and this is extremely useful, the PCE T1220 can also save the temperatures at selected intervals. When the measurement is ended, all saved temperatures are stored on the device along with a timestamp, either as a table or as a text file. From this file, for example, a graph can be created that visualizes the time-dependent temperature. The scope of delivery of the device includes software that offers exactly this feature and generally presents all features very clearly. Here, all measured values can be converted directly into a graph, allowing for immediate visual evaluation. And that is, as mentioned, very, very practical. In the video, I'm taking advantage of the ability to measure multiple temperatures simultaneously to find unwanted thermal bridges in my dry ice storage boxes. I frequently work with liquefied gases at very low temperatures or solidified gases like dry ice. Temperature-sensitive goods like food or pharmaceuticals are frequently shipped in styrofoam boxes. The issue here is that the shipping process typically only takes a few days. However, the objective is for products shipped inside, using different coolants like dry ice or cold packs, also depart the warehouse at a specific temperature and arrive at the customers at that same temperature. This means medications exceeding a specific temperature range, typically 2 to 4 degrees Celsius, become unusable. Today, I want to investigate how much heat penetrates this styrofoam box, or more precisely, I want to find out at which point of the styrofoam box the most heat exchange with the environment occurs. This location then needs to be reinforced for a second production run of these styrofoam boxes, for instance, by increasing the material thickness. The box is prepared with a total of 9 temperature sensors. And I decided on the following configuration. On the top of the lid, on the bottom of the base, on the front, naturally on the back, left and right. That covers the 6 most logical positions. Then I decided to stick a sensor on the inside of the lid, then on the box's bottom, and another sensor on this edge. Now the dry ice goes in. It has a temperature of minus 78 degrees Celsius. Now I'll put the lid on, and then I'll start the measurement, which will run for 24 hours. And afterwards, I will interpret the data for all of us here and find out which of these sides is the weak point or the thermal bridge. The measurement is complete, and now we interpret the data using PCE Influence's own software, which already provides a clear graphical representation. To do this, I go to Connect Devices, search for device. The PCE T1220 is directly connected to my PC via USB-C. It was also found immediately. I click on Dashboard, then Load Data, and now all the measurements we performed are displayed. In this case, it's a temp number 4 from October 26, 2025. I click on Details. After a brief loading period, over 6,000 measurement results will be shown in tabular form, and here graphically. Here we can directly read exciting things directly on Anim. There are 3 sensors whose temperatures are slightly out of the ordinary. This naturally also has a specific reason, namely the location where the sensors were attached. And the rest are relatively similar, except for one, the blue one. Let's go through again quickly which sensor is which. Down here we have the one that was directly in the dry ice. In the middle is the one on the inside of the lid. Then the lilac one, that must be the one on the tongue and groove system, meaning attached at half the material thickness. And up here the remaining 6 pieces which were distributed on all sides of the box. Logically, not much is happening down here. It's in dry ice, so we constantly have a dry ice temperature. Here, something interesting is apparent. On the inside of the lid, it can be seen that the temperature is increasing. Thus, we observe an upward trend. The y-axis represents temperature in degrees Celsius, and the x-axis shows time in hours. We see that over time, the temperature gets higher and higher. This means that heat exchange is occurring. Consequently, the air volume above the dry ice, however, inside the box is getting progressively warmer. This already points to the fact that heat exchange is happening. Something similar is seen here with the tongue and groove system. And up here there is then the one blue one. That means wherever this blue sensor, it must be number 1, has stuck, this side is a thermal bridge. It is a weak point. Externally, it appears that all sides of the box are constructed with equal strength and from identical materials. Nevertheless, a difference seems to exist. Because the most heat is lost here, this is expressed by, or rather the most cold is lost, so to speak. This is expressed by the fact that this side is very cool. And if one side of the box is very cold on its exterior, it signifies that a significant amount of heat is entering from the outside, consequently becoming cool. The explanation is somewhat complex, but one can rely on the fact that if a sensor here indicates coolness on the exterior of this box, it implies that a thermal bridge actually exists. We can also look at the exact numbers in the table view. That might be interesting here. We are here at, this must be sensor number 8 by the color. We started somewhere around, I'll check very briefly what the low point was. There we have it, minus 44.8 degrees Celsius, and later, at the end of the measurement, only minus 36.9 degrees Celsius. This is clear evidence of heat outflow. This means, based on this instrument, based on this data logger, which is able to measuring 12 temperatures simultaneously and recording all data at intervals we define, 1 second, 10 seconds, and so on, and even visually displaying this data in the software, I was able to easily determine where the weak point of the box lies. Very interesting. A very interesting device. It has helped me and will be a great help in some videos in the future. Even if one wants to use it as a very simple thermometer with only one temperature sensor. A wonderful digital display can be very useful even for such simple tasks. Thank you very much.
Discover and order the latest measuring and test equipment now on www.pce-instruments.com.